Hello everyone and welcome back to Apollo Justice. Time for the second day. Or is this the third day for this case? Who cares? This is it, the big day. Did you get any sleep? I am fucking binging this right now. I'm really hooked. Might actually finish this all today. You couldn't tell from the way every episode so far has been starting. These are all being recorded simultaneously. I'm just stopping the recording and then restarting immediately with a new part. I did take a shower though, but I left the thing open this time around. And then after I'm done with the shower, here I am. 1 a.m. Oh, what time did you wake up? 3 a.m. Oh my god. Hey, he's like journaled and Toryu. That's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. And the amazing Mr. Hat. Here's looking at you, kid. Good luck today, Apollo. That voice, is it Alita? Oh, it's right. Hey, get any sleep? 2 hours, baby. Mr. Right.
Did I get any sleep?
Huh?
I don't know, man.
How long did I sleep last night, actually? I was watching YouTube videos. That's how I always put myself to sleep. Cause otherwise whenever I'm trying to go to sleep, stuff starts popping out of my head and I can't sleep. Usually depressing stuff. So to make sure I don't think, and to make sure I can actually sleep, including my mind, I fucking go to YouTube. I believe it was somewhere around 0 o'clock sharp, with a 30-minute difference error margin. And then I woke up at like 6:50 today, exactly. It's in my diary. Anyway, I was going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow that place makes fake piano playing at the Indochine pasta joint seem almost fun. Daddy, do you know who Prosecutor Gavin's witness is today? Take a guess. How about Little Plum? That German tag from Mom? Nope, guess again. That's too bad, you know. Speaking of moms, you need to find me a new mommy one of these days, Dad. Excuse me? It's barely morning and you're at it already, Truzy. Okay, see, this is why I don't buy their father-daughter relationship. So, Mr. Wright, do you know who the prosecution's witness is? Alita Tiala, your client's fiancée. Well, shit. She's going to be a witness? That settles it. She's the killer. No doubt in my mind anymore. But that seems odd. Why would she testify against her own fiancé? You have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down today, that much is clear. Well, not to worry, I've got my panties back. If we can't find the killer, I'll pull one out of there. No thanks. Frick. I'm getting snifflies. I wonder, would it show how wet my hair is if I had my face cam right now? Where'd I even put one? Court's now in session for the trial of Walkie-Talkie. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is warmed up and it's a sold-out house. Very well. To recap, while yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party. Guilty of panty snatching? We did find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder. The witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Her Judge. And today I'd like to do something a little new. Age. I'd like to look at this horrible crime from the outside. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon, the preparation for the act. Our poor defendant told all, you see. To his betrothed. Isn't there like laws saying that if you're married or something to well, I guess they aren't married, huh? So never mind. That law won't apply to them. The ability to not testify against your beloved. Love is sacred. Justice will find another way. Quoting Vsauce Michael. His betrothed. His fiancé, Her Judge. His partner for life, with no chance for parole. Very well. You may show the lucky lady to the stand. Your name and occupation, Fräulein? Alita Tiala. My occupation is future wife. Nice. Main Fräulein here. Well, main Fräulein isn't gonna be a wife of anyone. Well, she will be, and it'll be herself. By the end of this trial, I'll make sure of that. And I'm not even the prosecutor. Traditional values. I respect that. Too many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfolded. Underwater. I would expect no one would be able to, Your Honor. Also, what was I saying? Oh, right, yeah, I'm basically just throwing it out there. This basically just confirms everything, and now that I have no doubt in my mind, I'm just gonna outright say it. Yes, I am accusing Lali, whatever her name is, main Fräulein. Yet you're here today as a witness for the prosecution. To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first, but I couldn't hide the truth. That's what they all say. Honesty, another admirable trait. Fräulein, is it true that on the day of the crime, the defendant, Waki Kitaki, confessed his plans? His plans for murder? Yes. The witness will please give her testimony to the court. Time to fucking look at her testimony like there's no tomorrow. Look real good at her flat chest. It was the day that the family healthcare checkup results came back. When Waki found out that Dr. Marakas had lied, he flew into rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. And you already know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Waki could have done it. So, the pistol did belong to the Kitaki family then? Yes, with regards to this, an investigation is underway at the Kitaki mansion on charges of the possession of illegal firearms. And the bullet that took the victim's life, was it fired from the pistol the defendant procured? Yes, this has been proven. How can you prove something like that? Bullets carry mark from the barrel that fired them, called rifling marks. I thought they were called something else back then. Rifling marks. Think of them as being a gun's fingerprint, left on every bullet it fires. Yep, I'm aware. When did you first hear about Waki's plan? It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it. I thought he was just joking. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Your testimony is sure to be filled with holes. That was the day of the murder, correct? Yes, everyone in the family received their checkup results that day. When Walkie looked at his face went so pale. But of course, he had just found out he had a bullet in his chest. So you were there at the time? Yes, poor Walkie. That must have been quite frightening. He was furious. He ripped his report up into shreds. Incidentally, I had to request another copy to file as evidence. A bothersome chore, but one I performed without complaint. Walkie's at an age where he's hard to control when he loses his temper. Of course, that little bit of instability is so cute. Great, now he sounds like a psychopath. So, is it easy to take a pistol out from the house? Not really. I think there's a system in place to limit access. But Walkie's a special case, being the next in line. Perhaps his treatment was a bit too special, Ja. Well, maybe he's a bit spoiled. I hear he got amazing presents for his birthdays. Like a fucking sword. An entire whole fucking real-ass, made-out-of-steel sword. Last year was a switchblade, made out of chewing gum, and a chocolate gravestone. A chocolate... What? The point here being that Walkie had access to a pistol. What happened meaning the murder? I tried to stop him, I really did, but Walkie wouldn't listen. Our defendant was nothing if not determined, it seems. The last thing you should do is blame yourself, miss. Yeah, 'cause that's what we're here to do. How can you say that for certain? How?
Objection!
Her forehead. Will you refrain from badgering the maid Fräulein? It was the defendant, Walkie, was it? Who took the pistol from his home. We know this for a fact now. I suppose we do. So how could anyone else have used the pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, Ja. That does seem to be the case. Does the defense have anything to say regarding this point? There was another. Based on your testimony, there was clearly another. One other person had access to that pistol. What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defense then. Tell the court who this other person with access was. Why, it is none other. Well, of course, I mean, you, Miss Tiala. Me? But why? You were quite clear when you told the court you heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning. Let me get this straight. You intend to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé and killed a man in cold blood on his behalf? I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this? It does seem a bit unfathomable, to be sure. I'm all for romance and for supporting your partner in life, to be sure. But I think I would hesitate. At murder? I hope you do more than hesitate. But what if a different connection could be proven? A connection between the witness and the victim. We might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. That would put things in a slightly different light. What possible connection are you suggesting here? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe. I have evidence showing connection between the witness, Miss Tiala, and the victim. Take that! That looks like a medical chart. Found inside a safe at the Maractus Clinic. I'd like to draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. What? Miss Tiala, whatever. Why is your name on this chart? Oh yeah, sweat and bullets. Well, care to explain the meaning of this, Miss Tiala? I'm not sure what you mean by meaning, Mr. Justice. Our warm little fiancé just froze over. I was on staff at that clinic until half a year ago. It was boring, so I quit. That's all. Is there a problem with that? Miss Tiala, you testified that you had no connection to the victim. And I don't. Now? I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess, you're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every last detail of his girlfriend's past. Am I right? That's not true at all. Why, I embrace the ones I love. Past lost it all. There's no connection now. Doesn't fly in a court of law. Doesn't fly? She's one tough nut. She probably feels right at home with the Kitakis. You left your job at the Miraculous Clinic, true. But you remain connected somehow. Very well, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that proves the witness is still connected to the Miraculous Clinic. Oh. Bam! These sandals were found in the Miraculous Clinic lobby. They're yours, aren't they? Ah. Well, who knows? I'm sure there are lots of people with those sandals. So sorry, Fräulein, but your act isn't working. Your moment of hesitation just now cost you. What's with you? I thought you were on my side. Nah, baby. This man's on the side of one thing and one thing only, and that's the truth and justice. And maybe his band. Perhaps you were unaware that toes leave toe prints, much like how fingers leave fingerprints. A simple analysis of these sandals will reveal all. Well, now we see your true colors. I was wrong to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just wanted you to help get Walkie back on the straight and narrow. This court thinks you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. It sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story. Your sandals were found in the entrance to the clinic, which means you went there on the day of the murder. I'm getting real good at pronouncing clinic. Well, there's little point in denying it. Very well, the witness will tell us about this visit. Why did you go to the Miraculous Clinic that day? I knew right from the beginning she was sus. I did go to the clinic that day, my first time in half a year, since I quit in January. I went to warn him. After all, I knew Walkie had a pistol. The doctor always was a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I want to tell him to be careful as an old friend. By mistake you mean the mistake we heard about from the defendant? The botched operation. He was a timid small man, but I never wished him harm. I just thought I should let him know, you know. That does make sense. Yes, but there is still one thing which does not. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? The sandals left in the lobby, of course. I can assume she wore these sandals to the clinic, Ja. And why did she not wear them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home. I would have worn those sandals home too. So why were the sandals left behind? He pointed out the contradiction before me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Miss Tiala? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals there which you wore home by mistake? Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin. Oh, it is nothing. There is, after all, no other possible explanation, Ja Forehead. What the? No fair! She's filling the holes in her testimony! The defense may begin the cross-examination. Oh, but you just gave me an idea, Gavin. Using your own thingy, I shall use it against you! Your own story, as well as hers. To point my contradiction that will lead me to my victory. I'll need to press for more information first about it, though. Around what time did you go to the clinic? I don't remember exactly, but it was after 9:30, I think. And that was the first time you had contacted Dr. Maractus in half a year? Of course it was. It wasn't the kind of boss you made friends with. So why did you go to the clinic that day? Is my face mask anywhere? Did you want Dr. Maractus to run away? Well, after I failed to stop walkie, I thought that was the only other way to avoid the problem. Then Jim called. Why go in person? I called several times that evening, but no one was in. The victim was busy driving home until 9 o'clock p.m. that night, remember? This was proven by this mirror yesterday, Ja. I thought if I warned him, he would run away for sure. Knowing the doctor. You mean that act of malpractice on Walkie, correct? If he had just told Walkie the truth in the beginning, none of this would have happened. True, that operation was the start of this whole affair. Oh, of course, if he'd told him, he might have been erased by the Kitakis much earlier. A disturbing thought. We know that the Maractus clinic had ties to the Kitaki family. He probably couldn't have gone to the police even if he wanted to. That's why I knew I had to warn him. No dark secrets, eh? What? Look at me however you want, Mr. Justice. You won't find a thing. She's hiding something, I know it. I must have some evidence to prove it too. You're free to think whatever you like. I went to that clinic with only one thought in mind. Then you'd be betraying Walkie, wouldn't you? No, I did it for him. For us. She went to warn him so that her fiancé would not have to commit such a crime, Ja. I didn't want them to take my Walkie away. There's no way she went to that clinic just to warn him. Do you know why she went, Apollo? Time to figure out what really happened at that clinic, and fast. Alright, this one's a little harder, tough nut to crack. This chart was found inside a safe in the doctor's office. Yes? Why would this one chart be in that safe? Miss Tiala, you know why it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Maractus didn't have the leisure of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Bad her doctor. And this is where you come in, Miss Tiala. The nurse who filed this chart was you, which means you knew about Walkie's failed operation. Interesting. You are in the same position as Dr. Maracus. Kind of makes it hard to claim no connection, doesn't it? You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Mr. Justice, you must know I was only a nurse. The doctor is responsible for the chart's contents. This chart business seems to be quite important. Please amend your testimony accordingly. Too bad, little attorney. Ooh. My bracelet's reacting again. What is it, Apollo? I felt my bracelet vibrate just now. Your bracelet? Just like yesterday, like you said. When a witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away. I can't see anything, Apollo. Eh? What's my bracelet reacting to? Wait, maybe. Yes, that has to be it. What has to be it? Your senses, Apollo. They must be sharper than mine. Huh? I can't see it, but you can sense it. I don't know about that, Trucy. I don't have some kind of special power at... Oh, really? You don't? How do you fucking explain that bracelet? Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss Tiala's testimony. We don't know what her nervous habit is. Well, then what do we do? You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo. With your eyes and your senses. And it's up to me and my bracelet. Where the hell is this bracelet anyway? I don't fucking see it anywhere in the sprite. I don't know why, but the bracelet helps. Somehow, touching it helps me focus. Let's give it a shot and bring down that testimony. Where did he get that bracelet from anyway? Or, blah blah. Oh, whoops, I meant to press for information first. Oh well. Hold on, let me press her for information first. I have absolutely no idea where the hell I'm supposed to look. She's very good at keeping her poker face. Signature was on the chart. So, what does that have to do with this case? If there was something in that chart to make me look bad, I would have dealt with it. The only one responsible for that chart is the presiding doctor, Dr. Maracus. Alright. Let's start with the face. The face is usually a good starting point. Alright, then the hands. Eh? Gotcha! Why go to the clinic for a half-year-old chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. It's quite clear, Miss Tiala. You have a nervous tick. The moment you said the word now, you used your right thumb to fiddle with your ring. What? She was unsure, I saw it. Now, that's the key word. The chart wasn't a part of your past. It was a clear and present threat. That's ridiculous. Why, if that were the case, I would have had 6 months to do something about it. Indeed. Eh? Means something happened quite recently. Something to make that chart a problem for you now. I've got her on the ropes now, I can feel it. Have to strike a killing blow with evidence. Miss Tiala, there's no use trying to hide it. The chart became a threat to you now because of this. A health checkup report belonging to the defendant. The Kitakis are trying to get out of the business. The health checkup this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about this? Oh, nothing. Why should I think anything? Oh, I would think you were positively beside yourself. Because you were afraid. You know what Waki's chest x-ray would reveal. A full half year had passed since the operation. You thought you were home free. When the chart came back to haunt you. Bingo. Where the hell did those feathers come from? That's all, Your Honor. What just happened? That's what I want to know too. Did the witness just admit to lying? I sensed it. There was a great aura emanating from her forehead. Very cool. So the lady was lying, it seems. That's correct. She said she had no connection to the Marathis clinic, but her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If Taki's got a hold of this chart with her name, she'd be finished. Isn't that right, Miss Tiala? You guessed it. Oh. Order! Order! I did it! I broke her testimony! Amazing, Apollo. I didn't see it at all. Daddy was right about you. Wait! What now? Miss Tiala? It's true, that chart was bad news for me. That's why I went to meet the doctor that day. But that's all. I told him about Waki and went home. It appears this cross-examination is far from over. Well, what? She hid the truth from us. This is clear, yet it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand. Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony, and we'll have a bit more cross-examination. I was so close. You're still close. Keep on her, Apollo. You bet your ass. How did Dr. Marathis respond to the warning? Oh, he was quite surprised. Panicky, even. Who wouldn't be scared to learn a Kitaki was after them? Incidentally, this court is not afraid of any mobsters. Why, we had a life-threatening situation just yesterday, right here in this court. Rude. Yeah, real impressive the way he stood up to the attack of the amazing Mr. Hat, sir. After which I carried you back to your chambers. Sounds like the judge had quite a fright. Nothing happened in Dr. Marathis' office that day, huh? But what about the mess we found? Something definitely happened in that office, Apollo. I know. But we can't prove when it happened. Nor that Alita Tiala was in any way involved. Well, let's try putting some evidence up anyway. either that or this.
Objection!
Nope. Oh, there were 2 rounds fired in here. Then the first bullet.
Objection!
It all makes sense. You say nothing happened in the doctor's office. I disagree. Take a look at this. What's that? It looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kind of like you, actually. This bullet was found in the Maroctis clinic office. Something did happen in that office, Miss Tiala.
Objection!
Enough of this joking around. The police investigated that clinic.
Objection!
Ah, but this was stuck inside the doctor's safe. Inside the safe? I guess the police didn't check that far.
Objection!
But there is a problem. How can you say that bullet was fired on that day?
Objection!
Weren't you the one who explained the rifling marks to us? The pistol was taken from the Kitaki mansion that day. The marks on this bullet match the murder weapon, and that proves the firearm was discharged in that office on the day of the murder. Not bad, her forehead.
Bailiff, have this bullet analyzed immediately.
30 minutes later, a report arrives. The rifling marks on both bullets are identical. Oh!
Well, it seems as though the bullet in the safe was fired from the murder weapon. Perhaps the defense would like to state their position?
The bullet in that safe proves one fact. A pistol was fired in that office on that day, and at the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained the top secret chart.
You think someone was threatening Dr. Maroctis in order to open the safe?
Only one person was in a position to do such a thing. Our witness, Alita Tiala. Both of her names are anagrams of each other.
Mr. Justice, where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness?
Yes. Alita Tiala knew about Wakikitaki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. But if she married him, and then the bullet finally reached its destination...
What?
That reminds me. Apparently, the Kitakis have been asserting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a great deal of money. A fortune, if you will.
Nefarious! So she planned to marry him just to get her hands on this fortune?
Someone objected. You keep talking trash about my Alita. And I'll sue you, lawyer man.
Mommy?
Yeah, you said you'd abuse my Alita. I think you mean accuse. Same difference. Wow, that's what Torio likes to say. Same difference. Same but different. Different but the same. However the fuck he words it. Well, you can't have her. She's mine. It was me. I shot that doctor. Me! He left me to die, so I left him to die too, there in that park. Walkie. Just cool down a second. Keep your hands off my Alita.
Miss Tiala?
I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've laughed so hard.
Something funny?
Walkie, wake up and smell reality.
Alita, baby?
The signature on the chart, the engagement. I mean, come on! It's so obvious. Even for a brainless, spoiled brat such as yourself.
Alita? Your honesty is like a breath of foul air, Fioiline.
Hey, I wasn't getting out of this clean anyway. So the family fortune is what you're really after. That's right, I wanted the money.
No way! That's whack! I ain't trying to hear that. Should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. By the way, can I ask you a question? Who, me? I believe you said you were going to abuse me. Accuse? Of what crime, might I ask? Huh? Oh, I'm a bad girl, sure. I got close to that brat because I wanted his money. But he was the one with the pistol. He could have fired it into the safe early after I'd already left the clinic. What? I would never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat. Wait, but what are you talking about? Trucy? You had the most to lose if that chart was found. But I didn't have a pistol now, did I? Well, you could have taken walkies. You'd think he'd have mentioned that, no? All I've heard him say is, it was me. I shot him.
Objection!
That's only because he's trying to protect you. Sorry to intrude on this lovely conversation. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point. What point? Certainly the Fräulein wanted that chart. You assume she threatened the doctor into opening that safe, but then... wouldn't she have taken the chart? Oh. You see... that chart wouldn't have been left in that safe. He's right. Miss Tiala. Yes? It is clear to this court that you are not a very good fiancé. Oh, I'm flattered. Perhaps it's time you told us the truth. Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we've proven that you were at the Maracas Clinic on the day of the crime. Oh yeah, time to figure out who hit Phoenix as well. Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof that I stole that pistol, do you? And that brat was spotted at the park, in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maracas was shot in the temple or not. Oh, but it does. You went back later? That chart was dangerous, you understand? I needed to get rid of it. That's why I went that day. But you couldn't get the chart then, could you? And later that night, Dr. Maracas was shot. I heard about the shooting, waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place. Ah, that was you? So you were the burglar. That was you two. If only I had one more minute. Then I could have opened that safe and gotten the chart. Yep, that explains the unfinished safe code thingy. What? That's trespassing! And brazen at that! Oh, is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. They are gangsters, you know. In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination. I wonder if back at the 2007, mafia was a word that was rarely used and often not understood that well. So the translators changed it to gangsters, even though they're very clearly, or actually, technically, even Yakuza. Bakamitai. Admitting the little crime to avoid the big one, eh? Alright, I basically already know where to go with this. Why that day? That brat was uncontrollable. He was ready to kill. And that would bring in the police. And that chart would become evidence. And I'd be hung out to dry. The police didn't check the safe, did they? Well, they thought the crime scene was the park. I'll make sure the responsible parties feel the heat. Such sloppiness won't be tolerated, ja. Kinda thankful for that sloppiness myself, actually. later, when I heard what happened, well, I was too scared to do anything that day. So I waited until the day after. The 16th, was it? Of course, you and that meddling kid had to get in my way. Why did Dr. Maracas keep that chart around? It was clearly dangerous for him. He could have burned it. Because he's a coward. The chart was his insurance. Insurance? My signature on that chart, to be more specific. That made sure I couldn't betray him. But you could have stolen it. Could have? Is this a new definition of proof? Well, ask Walkie. He'll tell us. Might I remind you this is a cross-examination? You might want to keep your baseless theories to yourself. Ugh. Yeah, but what? You have nothing to say. This case is over. It was over the moment that brat was seen in the park. What's the point in dragging it out any further? The doctor was shot in the right temple, yes. So it seems. Let's review the facts again, shall we? The killer shot from this location. The bullet would have struck our victim square in the forehead. However, the entry wound was in the right temple. Yes, we heard testimony on this yesterday. We know why. At the time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. The victim turned his head to look and was shot. Except that's not the truth. That testimony was proven to be a lie. Our egregious panty snatcher, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime, and he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. Mr. Stickler shouted from this location the bullet couldn't hit his right temple. Silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you had for breakfast that morning? Do you remember, Trucy? I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing. The doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken. But his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken.
Objection!
Then why don't you show us her forehead? Show you what? Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. If the witness panties guy was standing to the north, then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the killer shoot the victim? But wait, if the witness was standing there, how could anyone shoot the victim in the right temple? I merely laid out the facts for us. It is up to the one possessing the shiny forehead to show us. You can, that is. Walkie Kitaki was standing at the killer mark. Wesley Stickler at the witness mark, and of course Paul Maracas at the victim mark. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Where was the killer standing when they shot the victim? Someplace else. As the facts stand now, we can't explain this crime without contradicting themselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place. Apparently, Mr. Justice does. Let's hear it. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim from?
Objection!
It's time to raise the roof and the stakes, eh? Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? But what if they were a bit more terrifying? Oh yeah. Air guitar. Like so. The double penalty? Her forehead wishes to take us in a new direction. And he must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's justice time. Are you sure, Apollo? The key is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. If we believe that and we know where he stood, and the victim turned when he shouted, there's only one place the killer could have been.
The killer shot the victim from here. I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Miss Alita Tiala. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. We know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can when he saw two men. He shouted just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes. Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, towards the Moogle stand. Order, order, order! So you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand?
Objection!
Let's think about this a bit more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand, which would mean the victim Dr. Marakt escaped to the park, wheeling his own murderer in the cart behind him. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along. There's something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place?
Objection!
Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves someone was in the stand. Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone was in that stand? I have proof. I've got it. I've got it right here. Intriguing. Let's see what you've got. I just realized, since I've looked up a walkthrough, and judging by how well I've been doing so far, one might think the only reason I'm so certain about everything is because I looked up a walkthrough. And now I know all the answers. Well, I'm here to prove you wrong, because watch as I stupidly get a penalty right here, right now. Okay, this isn't looking good. I swear I'm not cheating. The Maractus Clinic, and they're covered with paint. These slippers were found in the trash can near the scene of the crime. And a single slipper print was found at the scene, right next to the noodle stand. Oh, and Miss Yala, your toe print was found in the left slipper. In other words, this is proof you were inside that noodle stand. Yet there was only one slipper mark found at the scene. Can this be called a footprint in good faith? Observe the diagram. A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path. Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, Ja? Why not? You have an impression left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell out to the ground? That's just dumb. One more thing. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with the tools of the noodle making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in there. You have a point. Could someone have hidden in that stand? Apollo, I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be Well, Mr. Justice, you have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand? I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear the space in that stand. Dun, 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 dun. This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Aldoon's Noodles noodle stand. What the hell? Why am I on such a roll today? Yes, and what about it? We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. This has to be a 1.5 hour video, so be it. This trial's being completed today. And I'm not gonna separate it into 2 videos. Considering how well I'm doing, it seems unnecessary. We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Maracas Clinic. Haha, I forgot about that. Yeah. I totally remembered, and that's why I pointed this out. And that's why I used that evidence. A large quantity of noodle bowls at the victim's clinic. Mr. Aldoon was very clear about those bowls. Well, I don't care who did it. Without that stand, I'm finished. All my noodle bowls were in there too. Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside that noodle stand. Space created at the Maracas Clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Tiala. Stop! I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than that spoiled brat's chip-a-cup lines. I would like to remind the witness of her current status. This court does not consider you entirely innocent. Show me an innocent. I'll show you a fairy tale. In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness had both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Maracas. More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale. And please, pull us back down to reality, Miss Tiala. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. Why was Dr. Maracas pulling that stand that night? And what was Alita Tiala doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of this case. That night, I went to ask Dr. Maracas for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands. But Dr. Maracas didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. You knew about the botched operation, so you tried to get rid of the chart yourself, to save yourself. I won't make excuses. And I did warn the good doctor. I gave him a chance. I told him that brat got his health checkup report, and that he was coming to settle the score. I see. Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth or it's over. Yep, it's time to perceive a lie again. I don't think I have any evidence. I don't think there's any evidence to point any contradictions, because there are no contradictions in this one. I just gotta look real hard. So you did go to steal that chart. Were you listening? I said I asked him for it. The victim was a man in good health. I don't see how she could have coerced him. True, it would have been impossible without a pistol. What if she did have a pistol? I'll admit I wanted the chart, that much is true. My reason was simple. Certainly would have put a damper on your wedding plans, I'd say. Not only that, if the Kitakis had gotten that chart, I'd probably be with the Dr. Maracas now, pulling that great noodle stand in the sky. It seems our witness was in a fix as well.
who would want to die pulling a noodle stand? When I die, it'll be by disappearing mysteriously in the middle of a magic act. Can we be a little bit less morbid, please? So you see, I needed that chart. I'm actually gonna stop the voice acting. I need to pay attention.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Gotcha!
Gotcha!
All you did was talk and lie. What? Show me proof. Pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Little slip in confidence and they give it all away. The proof is you, Miss Tiala. All I did was talk to him, you claim. Yet you can't hide your own nervous twitch when you say those words. My twitch? What are you talking about? You have a habit of scratching the area of your neck around the edge of your scar. What? It's working better than I'd hoped. Her unconscious actions tell the truth, she won't say. Habits and lies, 2 dots. Connect the dots and find the truth. Don't look at me like that. I just told you the truth. It seems that when you recall what really happened in that office, you can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? Nervous habits are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone is trying to hide something. You can't hide behind your scarf, Miss Tiala. Something happened between you and the victim in the Miraculous Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happened.
Take that!
What's that? You're touching your scarf again. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken. There's a red splotch on the cord. Seeing how you hide your neck, I think I can come up with a plausible explanation for the lamp's state. Well, spit it out. This talking in circles nonsense is killing me. Very well. The answer is very simple, Miss Alita Tiala. Please remove your scarf. Ah! A winner! That is me, baby!
Objection!
This is a trial to determine what happened in that part. Yet we seem to have drifted off target.
Objection!
No, we have not. We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting. as soon as the witness removes her scarf. I won't do it. This is insane. I'm an unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove my clothes.
Miss Tiala, I'm afraid you've forgotten what's already been proven.
What?
You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf.
No! No!
I knew it. So I was right, wasn't I, Miss Alita Tiala? Your neck. That isn't what I think it is.
She was a strong girl.
Something did happen that night at Maracas Clinic. You needed to get that chart back no matter what it took. Even if you had to steal your fiancé's pistol to do it. But wait! Looking at this lamp and the witness's neck, it looks like the very opposite had happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night was this witness, specifically. You tried to threaten Dr. Maracas and he attacked you. That's what happened that night at the Maracas Clinic. Ugh. Order! 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 Will someone please tell me what really happened?
I told you the truth already.
I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Maracas. That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you. Looks like my clinic's seen its last patient. We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me. So you can save your own skin.
What?
I know what you're up to. You want in with the family. If they see that chart, you're finished. Leaving me holding the short straw. But if I'm going down, I'll want some company. You! And what happened next? He jumped at me and knocked me to the floor. Then he took that cord. Paul Maracas was serious. Deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. I must have blacked out. So, you were the victim! And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick. I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There, are you happy now? I was out cold, almost killed. And you claim I then snuck into that noodle stand? But how could I? Ah! Well, one thing is clear. We now know what really happened at the Maracas Clinic. And it would seem that our victim was not entirely without blame herself. I'm sorry. I get so nervous just thinking of it. It's hard to breathe. I've told you everything. What's with strangulation? I've told you everything. Can I go home now? I want some noodles. You bear some responsibility for events that day, true. Yet, if you are also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Miss Tiala. When did this happen? Suddenly everyone's sympathizing with her. I don't know what to think anymore, Apollo. I mean, is that it? Do we know everything we need to know about Miss Tiala? Very well, this finishes the cross-examination of this—
Objection!
Not so fast. This party's just getting started. Now we rock! Oh yeah. What? Those spikes on your head are softer than they look. Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way? Prosecutor Gavin? Paul Maracas choked Alita Tiala. She fell unconscious. What happened next?
He's right. There is more we don't know. But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while. Even still, what if it was her in that noodle stand? Alita Tiala, half dead. Dr. Maracus pulling that stand. And a bullet fired from inside the noodle stand. What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night. Miss Alita Tiala, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet. Alright, I am officially confused now. You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? You too, Prosecutor Gavin? Me, Fräulein. I only wish to know the truth. Well, let's go back over what we've learned up till now. On the day of the murder, Rocky saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullet still inside him. So he took a pistol from the family stash, with the intent to give Dr. Maracus some of his own medicine. And Miss Tiala heard about this from Walkie, so she went to the Maracus clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature. But then something happened. Sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold. What about Dr. Maracus? That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled Alita Tiala. Perhaps he thought to death. What did he do after this crime? I was just knocked out, not dead. From the state of his clinic and the scene in the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, her forehead, care to guess? Well, Mr. Justice, what did Dr. Maracus do? Maybe he did think he killed Alita Tiala. Do I have evidence to show what he did next? Okay, my original idea was to use the mirror, but then I thought, what about the noodle stand? Has his next move, Dr. Maracus stole Guy Alduin's noodle stand. What? Killing me disturbed him that much? So much he randomly stole a noodle stand. It wasn't so random. Remember all the bowls in the clinic's foyer? Bowls that belonged inside that stand. I think it's pretty obvious, don't you? That stand was at the clinic. However, the question is, why did he remove the bowls? Maybe because the stand was heavy? Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place? Ah, wait, you don't mean? I do. Dr. Maracus did replace those bowls with something. Your corpse, Miss Tiala. My corpse? Dr. Maracus panicked. He thought he'd killed you. His next move would be to dispose of the body. But that's crazy talk. You're all crazy. And let's think about it. Logically, the doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there, who should he run into but the defendant Walkie Kitaki? I questioned your logic. What's this, Prosecutor Gavin? The park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with? That's right, he had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick. That spoiled brat made him do it. He made the doctor steal the stand. Tell me, why would someone go to a dead end? Unless the park was his destination. What? Apparently the defense has an idea. Tell us where Dr. Maracus was heading with that stand. Here. Please show us the diagram. To where exactly was the victim dragging that stand? The river! Of course, that makes a lot of sense! That's a river! Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why. A perfect place to dispose of a body. He was going to throw me into that river? You didn't have many other options, Fräulein. believe this clears up all of the remaining questions. The victim pulling the stand and the defendant before him. And inside the stand, you, Miss Alita Tiala. And then the denouement. Wesley Stickler, of panty-snatching fame, walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts in that instant. And then that's when she woke up. So, I shot him? You are the only one who could have stolen Walkie's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Miss Tiala. Nice work. You mean I'm right? I mean, you've done a fine job dreaming up a story. To get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming. Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so sure he's making it up, give us another reason. Why was Dr. Maracus pulling that stand through the park? Who knows? But there's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows whereof I speak. Whereof what? I believe she's still trying to deny this. Is this true, Prosecutor Gavin? Must I always be the one to point out her forehead's errors? Maybe there really is something. I believe the Fräulein speaks of her doctor's car. His car? That's right. The Maracus Clinic has that big garage, in which sat a green sports car, was it? Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car. Act. And so we find our victim without probable cause to steal that stand. And our defense without a case. I have an idea. You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken. Ah, what an excellent counter-argument, Fräulein. Too bad you're quite wrong. Eh? Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy. Daddy? That's right. That night. The car that hit Mr. Wright. Was that green sports car? Oh yes, I'd nearly forgotten about it. Afterward, he drove it back to that garage. It ran fine. That's right. So why didn't he use his beloved sports car? I have proof! I have proof! I have proof! A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead. No! No! Order! 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 Well, Mr. Justice, why didn't Dr. Maracus use his car to carry the body? That had grown to surrender, I hear. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. Mr. Justice, this contradiction casts doubt on your entire case. This is truly your last chance. The defense will explain to us what happened that night. The car didn't run. I have an idea. It's all coming together. That night, Dr. Maracus couldn't use his car. Ha! Now you're making even less sense than usual. Not according to my information, Miss Tiala. Put one and one together and the explanation is simple. If it's so simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence? Show us proof why the car wouldn't run that night. Take that! Let's see now. Panties? Again? All sorts of things come out in my panties. Even the truth. Another crime was committed the night of the murder. The theft of these panties, the latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid in the Maracus Clinic garage. What? The snatcher hid the panties there before running. Perhaps someone in this court remembers where he hid them? Why weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin. I'm bopping. This is so epic. I'm on the roll. I'm the best. While Miss Tiala and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatcher snuck into the Maracas garage. From that time until the time we found these, that car wouldn't start. What? That's why Dr. Maracas had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of. Well, Miss Tiala, this wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think. So it does. Where am I? So dark, can't see. Cramped. The pain, my throat's burning. What's your problem? You, Doc, I know what you did. Oh. Walkie? You lied to me, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man. Wait, let me explain. Fine, I'll give you your last request. Listen, you're being tricked, but not how you think. It's not just me. No, he'll ruin everything. I have to stop him. Cease this at once, you two! I'm snapping my fingers, but I can't actually make snapping noises, so I'm using my mouth to make the snap. Because that's what Gavin's doing. Funny, this isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Oh well, too bad. There's still one mystery. How did you manage to disappear from that stand? In the silence after the shot, I heard the witness running. I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stickler. He went to use a public phone to inform the police, which is when I made my escape. Which is when you left that slipper print. Dr. Maracas didn't bother taking my slippers off. I threw them out after I stepped on that paint though. That was your mistake. No, my biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice. Eh? I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anyone would get Walkie declared guilty, it was you. I believe we've reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how's Miss Alita Tiala doing? She's confessed to everything. We're processing her arrest now. Prosecutor Gavin sure seems calm for someone who just lost. It doesn't matter if he wins or loses, as long as he gets the truth. I respect this man. I think he already knew. He figured out she was the killer a while ago. He lost, but he didn't exactly win either. Something the matter, her forehead. Looks like it's time to announce a verdict. Not guilty! I'm the best. Court is adjourned. Great job, Apollo! You did it! Yeah, we did. Somehow. Rocky's off the hook. Free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And he has you to say, "Hey, attorney man! You're gonna pay for what you did to my Alita, Holmes!" Or to blame, I guess. You get my Alita back! Stupid pointy-head attorney with a death wish! Enough, Walkie!
Ah, Mr. Kitaki. I'm hungry. It's time you opened your eyes, Walkie. What do you know, old man? I think it's about time you opened yours. Giving up the life, trying to become some kind of businessman. Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie. I'm afraid the guard is going to throw them both out. Not in jail, wouldn't that be a happy ending? Hey, maybe we can help them out. We know why Mr. Kitaki needs to make so much money. Maybe we should tell Walkie. Oh, Walkie, Apollo has something to tell you. I do. What's that? Check the reason why, Apollo. It's either this or the other one. Think about it, Walkie. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday. It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is. She doesn't mean... You aren't really, are you? I searched the globe, and I found one. A doctor who can take that bullet out of you, Walkie. But it's an expensive procedure. Man, but you've got plenty of money already, don't you? I won't use it. It was the gangster life that did this to you, Walkie. I want to help you, and I want to do it clean. What a great guy. Please understand, Walkie. Dad. Man, I see how it is, old man. Always you looking out for... Walkie? Listen, good old man. One day, I'm gonna take you out. Then we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business suit, I'll find you. Stupid old geezer. My, Walkie! No, it's as it should be. Mr. Kitaki. I liked him more without the puppy dog eyes. I'm glad to have met you. I'm not so good with words, but I know a professional job when I see one. Thank you. Who, me? I don't think... Someday, I'll bake you one of our latest, the Kentucky lime pie. Ah, so long. And he was gone. Well, let's head back, Apollo. The Right Anything Agency. Hey, since when did I work at your agency? Aw, we make a good team. Don't just stand there, let's get going. Huh, why not? She did help me out. There's a few questions that still need answers. There's this power of mine that she showed me. And my bracelet. If anyone can help me figure it out, it's her. Can't say I care much for what her father has become. Oh, that's right. We have to go someplace first. Huh? Where? Fly to claim our reward from Mr. Eldoon. Ah, salty noodles. Right, you gotta stand back already? Oh, and after that, you can come see my show. With a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hat. Oh, it's special, alright. Please, anything but him. The end.
Hooray!
Ah, finally. Now I want some cup noodles. Ah, my stomach is grumbling. Can this... Alright, I saved. Here we go. I'm make a save state as well, just to be sure. And there we go. Good fucking bye.